Hello, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to our Geography 164 course, which is Drone Piloting and Operations. This will be the first video you've seen from me about our syllabus review, some course expectations, etc., etc. Essentially, think of this like the first day of class. And as you get used to seeing me in this type of format, this is how we will be presenting the course, delivering the course in an asynchronous format throughout the semester. So glad to have you here. Glad that you're with me and watching, and that I could share this information with you in this unique kind of um, format that we're using. So let's go ahead and begin. What I wanted to do um, for this particular lecture, if you want to call it that, is go ahead and review the course syllabus and then go over the schedule. So here it is. It should be showing up on the screen. You'll be able to see that now. I am in Canvas right now, which it will be, like I said in the email, this is the hub. We will use Canvas for essentially any and all communication, mass communication between me and the whole class, okay? Certainly if there's individual concerns or emails that we might have in a separate thread, I mean, that's different, right? But for things like your assignments and your quizzes and exams and your where are you going to be at this specific date, which group are you in, what are we doing for this class, when do we meet, etc., those type of things. All of this information will be communicated by me on Canvas. Most common route I use is called announcements, which show up, they should show up like little emails for you. The thing is, uh, as far as I know, DVC will only email your DVC email. I'm not sure if you can enter. There's got to be something. I imagine there is. I've never tried it myself because I always just use the DVC email, but I know that some of the things that I've been communicating don't always get to everybody. And then I get emails from students asking me the exact same questions from their Gmail or Yahoo or something like that. So I would highly recommend, if you use something other than the DVC email, to go in and change your DVC email settings so that anything that you receive in the DVC inbox will be forwarded to your primary email. It is crucial that you get the emails from me in a timely fashion when I send them out, so that you're not thinking I'm not communicating with you, because I am. I'm just using kind of these platforms like Canvas or DVC emails that will email those specific campus district domains. Okay. Anyways, let's talk about this course. All right. Enough of this little logistics things, basic stuff. Let's get on with what we're doing here and what this course is all about. It's called Geography 164, Drone Piloting and Operations. And, this is a unique course. It's going to be one that is let's call it part one of a two-course offer that we have at the college, which is really unique. And so this is part one, meaning that it's like the introduction to, as it says, piloting and operations. Part two is where we get into using drones for mapping and remote sensing, that type of thing. Kind of deeper imaging type of lessons that we get into. But this is really the prerequisite. You have to have part one, or you should have part one before you have part two, because before you can really turn a drone on and try to do mapping and etc. By the way, that's why we're in the geography department. If you were wondering why this is a geography course, it's because we brought this course kind of under the larger umbrella of let's use drones for mapping. That's what we ultimately want to teach students after they are done with our program. And pardon me for 1 second, as I have to step over here for one moment. Okay, so yeah, part 2 is 165, drone remote sensing and mapping, and I'll be talking about that a lot more throughout this course. But this one, as part 1, think of this as we are introducing ourselves to, what is a drone in general? Like, what is it? I mean, we've probably heard on the news or seen things, hear things, maybe seen them flying around, and they're pretty neat. They're pretty interesting. I would imagine that you're thinking along those lines. Most people that I run into when I tell them that I'm into this kind of stuff, I would say 9 out of 10 people get excited about it and think it's cool, and then there are a very select few that are freaked out and say, "Get that away from me," which is totally fine. But I would imagine that you're here because you're on the cool factor side, right? And so that's what this is all going to be about. We're going to first go into what are drones, and we're talking commercial drones. So the types that are um, small enough to essentially pick up, and they might seem like toys in some regards, but as we get through the course and you guys get to touch them, hopefully in person, you'll see that there's a lot more to them in terms of the technology and how advanced they actually are with some of the components and equipment that's involved. But there is a lot there's more to it than just picking up the sticks and going out and flying. As we're teaching this course, sure, anybody could go out and do something like that for fun, right? This is a fun thing to do, let's be honest. There's a reason I've got into it and have been involved for it for the last 6 years plus. It's because it's fun. You get out there and you get to fly something around in the air. But we do also want to emphasize things like safety protocols, proper regulation. Believe it or not, there are regulations. Yeah, so proper regulation, understanding, and just other types of checks and balances and things to ensure that we're being above board. Because the way that I think of this, as much fun as drones are to go out and fly as a hobby, I always approached drones as a profession, because that's really where I wanted to take it for myself, was to learn how I could use these really cool machines that are very advanced and turn them into something, or use them for some type of service maybe that can be actually provided as a professional type of something I get paid for. So that's kind of where I come from, and I'm sure you'll kind of get that as I am approaching the course and teaching it to you guys over time. But yeah, that's what we go about over part 1, and then the next one that's offered 165 as well. Kind of as a professional, how do you go about this? So let's get into it. It's a 3-unit course. Okay, so here we are. And on Canvas, by the way, this is available to view at any time for anybody. I hardly ever have to come back and edit these, but there may be a few things, but I try to keep things as final as they are when I post them. If you want to access this, here's the Canvas main links that you find. Explore these. I'd say I use about 25% of them. So you might click on some and you're like, oh, there's nothing there. Well, I just don't use them. But things like the syllabus, the files, pages, grades, discussions, yeah, you'll notice as you just click through and explore on your own. You got to get familiar with Canvas. 1000%. I can't recommend that enough, especially in online delivery. But if you click on syllabus, then this page will show up and you'll be able to view this and explore this at any time. Okay. So yeah, 3-unit course. Okay. 3-unit course. And hey, I didn't even introduce myself. My name is Jeffrey Miller. You can call me Professor Miller, Mr. Miller, Jeffrey, Jeff. That's fine. I know I saw some repeat names, so I've had some of you in previous courses before. By the way, as being a geography course, I have to constantly promote these things just to, I say, not only because it's exciting, but I want you guys to be aware of what's out there. It's especially harder in a distance environment where we're not meeting face to face as much anymore. it's hard to understand what's, you just don't know as readily available. Within the scope of geography, we offer a number of different unique programs that are considered continuing education and technical type of courses for, well, maybe you're on the side of you're already a professional and you're trying to sharpen some type of technical skills. So the drone courses, there are 2 courses, and with those 2 courses, we offer a certificate that you can obtain by taking the 2 courses, as well as some additional geography technical courses like maybe GIS or remote sensing or GPS. Did you even know we have those courses here? And we do. They're not always offered every semester, but we try to offer every course in our portfolio throughout an entire school year. So some of them are only limited to spring and some of them are only limited to fall. But I want to just reemphasize that our drone courses, they got the certificate, and they also have they also count, so you could transfer them in for, like, if you want to get, say, the drone course and a GIS. Say you want to get the drone certificate and you're interested also in the GIS certificate, or you just realize that we offer 2 certificates. And hey, by the way, you want to get an associate's in geography. You can get all 3 of those things by taking these courses, and then they kind of overlap into each other's areas. So, like, for example, for the drone certificate, you have to have additional courses beyond the 164, 165, and you could take the 125 or 126, which are GIS. And oh, by the way, now you get the GIS certificate. Same is somewhat true for GIS, except the slightly different configuration of how the courses work. And then the associate's degree is, as you're taking more and more of these, it's like you're just kind of building on top of adding to the course loads that you've taken to end up with these, if you want to get their certificates or the other things that you're interested in achieving. So it's really neat, and we're in a unique college, being a 2-year college, being a junior college, at an affordable price, offering the types of technical courses that are very hard to find at frankly, at a 2-year college, maybe in a technical vocational school, but not nearly for the price that's offered here at our school. And even so, I would be even so much to say at a university. A lot of universities, it's not nearly on the same, I would say, it's hard to find a university that has as many technical courses that we do, that we offer in our geography department. So with all that being said, I know I'm kind of going on, and I keep saying I'm going to talk about this course. I just needed to get that out there and put that for you guys, so it's kind of planted that seed in your brain, so you go, okay, I want to learn more. And if you do want to learn more about these other courses and the certificate programs and all those things that I just mentioned about, just let me know. Okay, let me know, or let one of the other instructors in one of the other faculty in the department know. Reach out, because it's hard to find stuff on the internet as directly as it would be to just ask and say, hey, can you provide some guidance on which classes I need, because I'm interested in the certificate. We actually have a guy here called the program liaison, who is a counselor specifically for helping students in our program, and I will be sharing his information as well. So we want to provide as many resources as we can for everybody, but sometimes it's up to you guys to ask and to get a sense of what direction you need to go. Okay, perfect. All right, now to email me directly, it's a good thing in this environment, especially being virtual. We have to email, okay? And I work at Chabot College and DVC, so either one of these will work, okay? You can just click on this link and it'll actually open up your whatever Outlook or Gmail, whatever it is. Probably Outlook, I think, based on that it's DVC domains. But anyways, you can copy and paste this. You can email me. For you guys being a DVC class, I would prefer that you use the J.E. Miller DVC EDU. If you have something specific you need to let me know about, all right? That's totally fine. anytime. I try to respond within 24 hours. If it's the weekend, just be aware of that. I might be doing other things or not, might be away. But during the week, I will always try to respond at least within 24 hours, okay? Now, I've mentioned this a few times already, but I have to harp this right up front here. And this is going to seem maybe somewhat odd to you if you're taking, well, let's say it's different, okay? Because everything is different right now. Everything is different, especially in online delivery, and if you've never done that kind of thing before. So the way that I'm doing this, I know that we have something posted as far as times and days, but I want to be clear. This course is hybrid, and so that means that we're doing online, but we're also intending to do in person. The in-person is going to be very limited. I have to be totally upfront about that. Very limited, and I will explain more about that when I get to it. Just think of everything else that I'm explaining from here on until I get to that part as it being the online delivery, okay? The online delivery. And so I'm going to teach this in an asynchronous format or method, okay? And asynchronous means that we don't meet. I repeat, we do not meet on a regular time or day or dates on any kind of live Zoom or anything like that, right? Okay, so how's it going to work then? Well, I will be posting videos like this that I pre-record, and I will put them on Canvas ahead of time before, say, your week's assignment is going to be approaching. And so therefore, I'll always provide you the content first, and then you can view that whenever you want, wherever you want. And then you can go about, and if you want to email me or go to the office hour, which I'll talk about in a minute, or anything else like that, then you're welcome to do so. But it's kind of a more even more independent method for especially you guys. So it's very important that you watch these videos every week that I post them, or every time I do. Okay, so I hope that makes sense when I say asynchronous. Don't be thinking that every Friday that you have to be at a certain place at a certain time. You don't, okay? Except for the in-person stuff that I'll talk about momentarily. Just know that. Great. And by the way, everything will be posted on Canvas. I know it might not be right away, or it might not be right now if you're viewing this at the beginning of the semester, but when it is needed, it will be posted there, okay? Some of these I'm kind of building out each week, and so just be patient with me as I get them up there. I will definitely do what I can to get them up before the assignment comes around. Now, with all that being said, as I just mentioned, we don't meet virtually, right, at any specific time. Well, we actually have the opportunity to do so optionally if you want, and this is my office hour, okay? So again, this office hour that I have highlighted here, this is not the course. This is not the course time or the course date. This is when I have set aside time for my students, okay, to be available on a regular basis. And I'm live and I'm here and I am open to answer and provide any kind of feedback or answer questions, feedback, concerns, whatever it may be that you have that you want to ask me. Okay. Now, every Wednesday from 11 to 12 on this link via Zoom, if you just click on the link, it will take you to the Zoom room that I'm in, and I'll be sitting there and I'll be kind of just ready to answer questions. I may have other students in the room as well that may be asking me other questions, but if you're there, what I've noticed is that the hour is, think of it like it's just a pop in. You pop in and ask me stuff if you need to. As I've been doing this for, I actually did this last semester too, and to be frank, there's not a ton of, you might think, oh, it's going to be really crowded. I don't often find it to be so much so. So what I'm saying is, if you need something and you're worried that this is not going to work because there won't be enough time to get your concern out, I don't think that's the case. I would encourage you to try to reach me during that office hour. Now, I know that you're not always available on Wednesdays from 11 to whatever because you work or you got other things going on, etc. Okay, that's fine. I can do Zoom appointments one-on-one with students if you need to, but I just have to have some prior notice. Okay, and I try to keep those to about half hour or so. Um, Again, it's not a problem for me, but that would be on a much more kind of case by case basis. So if that's what the situation calls for you, just email me and we can work something out. All right. Great. So as I mentioned, email. A lot of things are going to sound redundant here, but that's the best way to message me. Let's keep going. All right. We will do some reading in this course. Okay. And I am requiring at least one book. I will be providing you guys something called the Drone Pilot's Handbook, and I have some digital copies. Well, I have a digital copy that I could share to you. So I will be providing that as necessary. Probably won't be all at once, but as the weeks go on, I'll provide you what you need ahead of time. So you'll be able to use that and read that, and that book will help you with the drone pilot certification test, preparation for that. Okay, and then the second text that I want you guys to get is called the Drones Essential Guide. Okay, by Gosling, and it's a pretty simple book. I found that these kind of books are a dime a dozen right now. It's actually kind of funny when you look up, drone basics or drone introduction. I swear there's probably 25 or more, and it's hard to understand. It's really, it's hard to vet exactly the quality of them. What I found with Gosling's book is that it's simple, it's easy, and it gets straight to the point. Okay. So I'll be frank, it's not the hardest book in the world, but it will definitely hit the major points that I want you guys to take away in terms of understanding drones in general. Okay. Because that's really what this kind of course is all about. At least half of the course. The other half, think of it, the course can be split two ways. With one side is as the operation side, what is a drone? How do I fly it? What are the components? Blah, blah, blah. And then the other side is how do I be that professional, and how do I get my test? How do I achieve or how do I pass the certification test so that I can move on to actually pursuing other things with using drones? So yeah, I don't have a digital copy of this, but I want you guys to get it yourself. I'm pretty sure they have. Well, let me just go to the link now. So I have it here on Amazon. So I downloaded it on my iPad, the Kindle app on iPad. It was $3. So that's one way, and yeah, I thought they may have had it. I thought they had it in a hard copy as well. I guess if you could find a hard copy version, that's great, but you probably don't need to because this digital copy is perfectly fine and cheap and easy, and boom, you just have it like that, right? After you watch this video, you can pause the video if you want and go download it if you want. So yeah, that's going to be the text for the course. I am also reviewing a third text as I speak, and we'll see if we are going to use it or not. I don't know at this moment in time as I'm recording this, but I am going to be letting you know soon. Okay, so that's our text covering the course. Now let's go ahead and talk about that. Okay, straight from the course outline in the catalog. It's a 3-unit course, we said, and we're talking about unmanned aerial systems. You'll hear me use that term a lot, UAS, better known as drones, okay? Drones would be the colloquial kind of general term for a UAS. But when we say UAS, we're taking it to a different territory, and we're moving into kind of the professional nomenclature or the professional terminology of what we want to address these things as. When you say UAS, it's like a different, understanding as a professional of these type of technology, as opposed to just saying I'm a drone so and so. Now I realize the class is called drone piloting. We had to call it drone piloting to get you in here, because otherwise you'd be like, what's a UAS piloting? I don't even know what that means. But anyways, yeah, we'll try to stick to stuff like this, and that's what terminology is important. UAS and the technology involved in the operations. We'll cover safety, flight operations, maintenance, um, and there will be a laboratory portion. Okay, and so those are going to be when we meet in person, and those lab portions, that's going to be some hands-on experience. I'm very hopeful that we will get to do this. Okay, thankfully we will be doing these types of lab classes outdoors in small groups. And so even given, let's say, I'm filming this during, the height of COVID, right? And so even given the county's restrictions on what people are supposed to be doing or not doing, um, at the height of it, small groups outdoors is okay. And so if it's okay by the county officials, then it's okay by the school. But I'll get into that stuff a little bit more as we get into the lab. Okay. That's where you pilot the drones. That's where you fly. It's going to be the funnest part. And yeah, like I said, this will help you prepare for what's called the Part 107 FAA. Hey, we're flying drones in the air. It's all controlled by one particular governmental agency called the Federal Aviation Administration, and so they are the ones that are setting the guidelines for certifying professionals. And so the exam is called a Part 107, and that's what this class does. Sets you up for success in taking the Part 107 exam. All right. Continuing on with your learning outcomes. So as far as the lecture concerned, think of that like that's the online portion. We're going to explain components. So I want you guys to understand what a UAS is and everything that's involved with it, and understand the laws and the airspace and the regulations and the licensing, some kind of maintenance things, weather, atmosphere, safety protocols. I already said safety already, but things like checklists, and there's a whole plethora of stuff, right? But we're going to cover that kind of information there. And then when we get out into the lab, that's where you will be demonstrating how you can fly these drones. I haven't even really mentioned that yet. By the way, as I'm saying it now, I should address this. I have a fleet here. DVC has a nice fleet of drones that I will be using. You will be using, but you will be getting from me as we go out into the field. As you meet me in the field, I will have the drones already ready for you. So you don't have to go out and buy them, to be clear. You don't have to go out and think, oh my gosh, this course is going to be super hard, and or this class is going to be super serious. And if I'm going to be a professional drone pilot, right away I need to go out and spend $1,000 and buy a Phantom drone. And that's just not the case, because I have a Phantom, and I have a couple other DJI drones. And anyways, I have what you need to be successful in terms of flying. If you have your own drone, okay, and you are interested in using that, I take that on a case-by-case basis. I've had this situation before, and the student was pretty adamant that they could be competent in flying and follow all the safety protocols that everybody else was doing with the school's drones. And I had to kind of just sit back and have him show me at first, and he did a good job. And so I was like, okay, I feel okay with you doing that. So just note, as I'm saying this, if you have your own drone, it's not a no in terms of using it for the course, but I need to see it individually, that you can prove to me that you could follow things safely and understand how to operate the thing. And so we do that in the field. Like, that'll be fine. When we get out there, when the time comes, we will explore that if you are in that situation. Okay. Uh, I have here assess and manage data. This is I wouldn't think of data per se in this course because that's really more the 165. But in this course, what I do want to do at the end of our labs, or kind of at the tail end of our labs, I do want us to be taking some pictures so that you kind of get familiar. All the drones that I have to share with you guys have really high-end cameras. And so that would be great for you guys to get some experience taking pictures. All right. Now, let's talk about attendance. Okay, so I just mentioned earlier, it's an asynchronous class, and we don't ever meet in the online world. So how can you take attendance? Let me just say first and foremost, I do need you guys to fill out an attendance form during this first week so that I know who's going to stay in the class and who's committed to being here. Because I can't sit here and go here, 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 here. I'm not going to do that, obviously, right? I'll share with that form with you guys when I get to the course schedule. So that will be the only time I will take attendance, okay? Being an online asynchronous, as we don't meet, at any specific time, there is no attendance. It's just you staying on track with the assignments that are scheduled each week. That's kind of how I know if you're in the course or not, okay? Beyond that first attendance check. But let's see. Yeah, I sound like a broken record almost, but like I said, I will pre-record lectures or other types of important videos. I'll post it on Canvas, and then that'll be your lesson. So you watch it when you need to, okay? It's up to you to read the text and complete the assignments on time by their due date as posted, okay? Now, let's talk about hopefully these in-person meetings that I want to accomplish with you guys, okay? I have set aside four select Fridays and that are posted that I'll share with you in a moment. But these particular Fridays, there's a window of time that the class will operate from 12:30 to 3, okay? And the thing is, though, I don't want everybody showing up from that time frame because we will be in complete violation of the COVID safety stuff that we're not supposed to congregate in groups. But B, even if there was no COVID, it's much better. It's a much better experience for me to teach and for you guys to learn if we work in smaller groups. And then I just rotate the groups throughout that time, that 12:30, 3 o'clock window. And so my goal is to have you guys placed into groups of, say, 4 to 5 people. And so me, 5 to 6, I guess. But that's the intention. And so it's almost like you're in little teams. And then you guys will have, so let's say team 1 is, let's put it this way. The teams will meet from 30 to 60 minutes at a time. And so let's say team 1 is the 12:30 to 1 o'clock block. Okay, great. Team 2 is 1 o'clock to 1:30, et cetera, et cetera. That's how this is going to work. So again, don't think that the commitment is a 3-hour block on Friday, because it won't be, and I don't want you to be there the whole time. If it was not the COVID situation, I wouldn't care. I had students before that have done this, and they just want to hang out for the whole time, and that would be great, but we just can't do that kind of thing right now, right? And so we have to be respectful of the window of time that we set up. So I will work with you when we get closer to our first in-person meeting, which is a few weeks away. And I will get with you and set up the teams and make sure that everybody's okay and can attend, because that's something that I want to make sure. I really want you guys to attend, if you can, attend these in-person meetings. It's virtually impossible to know how well you can fly a drone if I don't have you do it in person, right? Like this was a big debate for me and some of the faculties and administration when we realized this course had to go almost all online, and I had to fight for it and say, look, there has to be some in-person stuff, and if we do it outside, and if we do it in small groups, which is what I wanted to do anyways, we can be safe. And so I get it though, if you are a person that has concerns about safety, COVID related, etc., let me know. Or if you have other kind of conflicts that you can't meet for whatever reason, but you can make it up a different time, let me know. Okay. I do want to try to be as flexible as possible and work with individual students and concerns. But let's just say for the overall class, this is the plan. Okay. Now, we will be working in the field when we do these in-person things. When I say in the field, I'm talking about outdoors. Okay, everything's going to be outdoors, um, uh, somewhere close to the DVC campus. Probably not on campus itself. Just to be clear, probably not on campus itself, unless I say so. But the exact locations, I have a few in mind already that I've worked with in the past, and there's some new ones that I want to explore. So, and I'm open to ideas from you guys too. So if you have a cool like park and it's open and actually it will meet the FAA airspace stuff, that's the other part of this. We're going to learn quickly that where you fly, it's important to have airspace clearance. Okay, but let's just put it this way: when we get to those field days, the exact locations, we will determine them ahead of time. Um, uh, but not right now. I'm just going to say that we're not right now. We don't know all of them at this particular moment, but we will, let's say, a week before we go. Okay. Okay. So yeah, I hope that clears things up a little bit in terms of the lecture versus lab and online versus, asynchronous versus in person. This is a unique class. I have to be totally honest with you guys. It's gonna be something like you never had probably before or ever. Michael Quinn teaches a couple courses, and in particular his GPS course. If you're in that as well, you'll notice it's probably similar to this, but I think he teaches it synchronously online. But otherwise, this is not like anything else you've ever had, and I think that's kind of cool, actually. Let me just reiterate the office hour that I talked about. That's the only time that we will do like live virtual regular meetings. Okay. And again, office hours are voluntary. It is 100% optional for you to show up. I will be there, but you do not have to come if you don't have anything to talk to me about. That's totally fine. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I talked about this already as well, but I have to put this in here, especially with the times we're under. Not only is safety a concern because we're flying dangerous machines in the air as one part, but with the COVID situation, we have to take that into consideration. And so I know I'm being vague in some of this language, but I do want to be clear when it comes to in-person meetings, we will do everything that we need to do per the district and county health protocols that are enforced at the time of that particular meeting. Okay. I'm sitting here in the early September 20. Nobody knows when the vaccine is going to come out, what that's going to look like, or how that would shape what we're dealing with at this time. Could be that when we meet the first couple times, we're supposed to wear masks and we're supposed to distance and we're supposed to spray everything down. Could be by the time the course is almost over, we don't have to do any of that stuff. I don't know. It's just going to be kind of case by case basis. But whatever the case is, whenever the meeting is, we will follow those protocols as best as possible. And if you're not willing to do so, or I see you participating in a way that is not compliant, then I have every obligation to excuse you from the class if that's the case. I don't want to do that kind of stuff. Look, I'm not trying to be a parent and not trying to. I have an infant. I know what it's like to chase them around, and I know what it's like to parent. All right, that's a different story. I don't think you guys should be acting that way, and I don't expect you to. Okay, I know this is college, and we're all adults here. But again, being out in the field, it's kind of fun. Well, it is fun, and especially doing the drone stuff. But I do want us to all be respectful of the group and the other students and me, and follow these things as stringent as I instruct you to do so. Okay. Perfect. Great. So moving on, I talked about the lectures. They will be pre-recorded. I post all of them onto YouTube first, and then YouTube is great because it will put captions if you want, and it does HD. Essentially, it's available to watch on any device at any time. It's like the most obvious, most readily available streaming source. So I put it on YouTube, and then I share it on Canvas, right? So you can watch it directly on Canvas or on YouTube, whatever you want. In person, where we do drone flying, this is going to be your lab work, okay? And so, like I said, if you can't make it, just let me know, and let's talk about that in a separate thread. Almost done, actually. These are the last 2 points. So let's talk about the assignments, okay? Quizzes and exams. And I know the course is mostly online, and so that means that your quizzes and exams, they're going to be proctored right here on Canvas, okay? Right here on Canvas. I'll show you how to access those in a moment. As we have it scheduled currently, I have 10 quizzes, and then a midterm and a final exam. So that makes out, if you think about the weeks that we have to work in this class, every single week, I consider this week 1 to be kind of like your grace period, but starting week 2, there's going to be something due every single day, okay? Every single day. Or not, forgive me, I just got distracted by something. Not every single day, every single week. Every single week there will be either a quiz or, well, there's 2 exams, right? So most likely it's going to be a quiz that's going to be due that particular week. Okay, now breaking that all down, we've got 20 points each. That's what your quizzes are going to be worth. So 20 times 10, there's 200 total for those. So think of each quiz as 5% of your grade. If you miss one, that's a significant hit to your grade. If you miss 2, you have automatically gone down 1 entire grade. Okay. Yeah, those are important to do. Exams are 50 points each, giving you 100 points total. And then your labs are going to be 25 points each. Okay. 4 of those makes 100, so a total of 400 points. Okay. That's how the course breaks down. Okay. I grade things very simply in a sense of 90% is an A, 90 and above is an A, 80 and above is a B, et cetera, et cetera. There's no curves, there's none of that kind of thing going on. I do have to mention here, as boilerplate information, that cheating is very bad. Don't do it. I'm not going to read this word for word. I'll let you guys if you want to, but I got this from the college. So let me just kind of put it this way. We're an online course, making it even easier for you to cheat if you, I guess, because I'm not, looking over your shoulder. I still haven't decided in terms of exams and quizzes go. Normally what I'll do in other courses, I will put together essay questions on the essay questions for you to write out critical thoughts per the answer. And so those do not lend themselves to be easily cheated, because it's not just an automatic, multiple choice, here's the answers, boom. Here, let me tell everybody else. There will be some multiple choice stuff. Trust me, I can't make this entire course essay based. But in the terms of if we do have essay questions, let me just kind of lay out some basic stuff. In terms of cheating, if I see people copy and paste the answer from student to student to student, that's an automatic. You missed that. You get 0 points for that. that question. If I see it copied from directly on the internet, again, right? When it comes to essays, use your own words, right? Now, if you're finding the answers from material I post or from somewhere on the internet, that's fine and great because it shows you're researching. But paraphrase and share the source of that information. Okay, so use your own words is really important. As long as you're using your own words, and I can recognize that, I read every essay answer. That's how I evaluate whether you have cheated or not. And I know that, again, like, it's a very, very, very small percentage of people that actually do it. But every course, every semester, it happens. So I have to mention something like that out there. Okay. Whew, that's it. As far as course syllabus, that's the outline of the course, right? Now, let's move on. I do want to highlight some other very important things before we end this video, all right? I know I've been talking a lot here, so bear with me, okay? If you're watching on YouTube, speed up my voice, get through this video faster, whatever you want to do. I don't care. Go to the home link, like I'm doing here on your Canvas. And so we will use this home link all the time. This is where I will post all of my links and my videos and any types of other course material, like, for example, the pilot's handbook I'll post on here. Yeah, it's all going to be based here on this home page, okay? First and foremost, as we're logging in for the first time, I want to ensure, like I mentioned earlier, get your attendance submitted the first time, first and only time. And I only need you to do it one time. That's fine. You don't need to got to do this over and over again. One time, you're good. Okay, it saves it. You're all set. So you click on the form. It takes you to it. I need to know, what class you're in, what school you go to, and what's your name. It takes you 5 seconds. Okay, do that. Okay. Our office hour, the link is always going to be saved here. So all you got to do is log into the course, boom, click it. If you want to log into the office hour on Wednesdays at 11 a.m., that'll pop up for you, okay? Now, this is based very systematically based on the dates of our course throughout the semester. So how it's going to work: in bold, we have the date and then the assignment, okay? So starting on 9/4, first day of class, you could call it. I've got syllabus, calendar, and expectations. Essentially everything that this video is talking about, okay? You will see a link to the video posted here. And guess what? There aren't any assignments. All right, excellent. So like I said, that's your grace period, okay? Starting on, now these are all Fridays, okay? So I know that we don't have specific class meetings, but think of it like your weeks start on Fridays. Which means they end on Thursdays. On the 11th, the first thing that you need to do is you got to get that Gosling text and read chapters 1 through 3. These are all the chapter titles, okay? And there will be a quiz assigned, okay? So the first quiz is assigned to you starting on the 11th, okay? Now, if the week lasts from Friday through and then ends on Thursday, okay, that means that quiz 1 is actually due on Thursday. All of the assignments will be due on Thursday nights. Let me repeat that. Unless otherwise mentioned by me, all of the assignments will be due Thursday nights, okay? So your quiz 1, it will be available throughout the entire week, from Friday to Thursday. So you could actually do it Friday, the 11th. You could do it Saturday, the 12th. You could do it, Tuesday. As long as you do it by that Friday, that will be considered your week's assignment, okay? So yeah. Now, it's very simple to access. You can either click the link here, or you can click the quizzes link here on Canvas, and this is actually more comprehensive because it shows you a list of all the quizzes and the exams that are proctored and the dates, etc. So I would actually recommend you guys use the quizzes link every time to stay on track. That's basically it, right? So we just go through each week and we just kind of, hit them every time. every Friday. That's the goal. Now, as Gosling's book is about kind of general drone um, guidance. Let's see, what's it called again? Not good, but I want to make sure. So yeah, essential guide, right? As Gosling's book is your essential guide, then the drone pilot's handbook is by this guy Elliot, and that's what I'm going to share with you digitally via a link here. There'll be a link with the text. You just click on it, and boom, it'll pull it up for you. So I switch them off, where I have you guys first read about general guidance of drones, and then the next week will be piloting, you know, drone piloting for your examination preparation. So that's kind of how it's going to work. They're going to be kind of staggered. That way, it's always a little bit different, and you don't have things just kind of we don't run out of one thing and then kind of it would feel like the course is two different courses if we did it all at once at one point and then did all at once at another point. As I'm put this together, I thought it would be kind of good just to kind of shake it up that way. So we'll do a Gosling and then we'll do an Elliot and then a Gosling and then an Elliot, something like that, unless I put otherwise. Okay. So yeah, you notice that I already have one of these videos posted on YouTube that I put together about what's called FAA sectional charts. Same thing, okay? I'll include PDFs if it's necessary. Whatever the resources are that I want you to use, I will provide it to you ahead of time, okay? Now, when we get down to the 25th of September here, okay? Notice in red, I've got a field day. Aha, I've got us out in the field doing some drone flying. So expect that on the 25th, as posted here on Canvas, that is your first and our first in-person meeting to actually go out in the field and get your hands on a drone. All right. As we scroll through here, we take a couple weeks off from being out in the field, and then on the 16th of October, I've got us doing another field day. Okay. Now, I will populate all of this stuff on Canvas much more so than it is as I'm showing you in this video. By the end of the course, there'll be so many links you'll be overloaded with them. But it's all going to be helpful as everything is staggered per week, right? On the 16th, that's the second day. 30th, so notice what we do here now. We go every other week, okay? The 30th, and then we have our last field day on the 13th of November. That's what is scheduled right now, okay? Unless we have something else happen, like something happens to me, maybe there's a weather, we have, a weather delay. So weather postponement. If it's raining outside, you can't fly drones. Or snowing or anything like that, right? But rain is usually number one. Very high gusty winds, I would say 15 to 20 mile an hour and above, are the other weather factors that make us postpone flying. Obviously, we don't know that until we get closer to these dates. So we just kind of have to wait and see. Hopefully we won't run into any problems. If we do, I will clearly try to share with you how we can reschedule that as necessary. Now, check this out. So we get down to the 11th and that fourth day, then we move on to the 20th, and the following week after the 20th is Thanksgiving. So we don't do anything, right? I'm not going to assign you guys a quiz or an exam or anything like that over a holiday. Frankly, I don't want to grade it. and I don't think it's fair to give students assignments on things that are supposed to be holidays. It's just kind of my philosophy. So Thanksgiving is very late this year. And just based on the way the calendar worked out for the school year, we end the course actually very early compared to that. So it's actually only 2 weeks after Thanksgiving, the course is officially over on the 11th, okay? but yeah, we have the holiday, and then think of it's like our chance to kind of, soak everything in. Of course, you're welcome to study, and I encourage that kind of thing if you want to. But it's like you soak everything in, recharge, and then on the 4th of December is when I will assign your final exam. So you'll have from the 4th to the 11th to finish the final exam. Okay. Technically, the last day of class is the 11th, but say you finish the final exam on the 4th or the 5th. That's it, right? That's it. Um, Alrighty, I think that's everything I have to share with you. Let me make sure. That's all, guys. I hope this has really been helpful. I know it was probably a little bit longer than I know it's longer than I expected it to be, but um, hopefully it works. Like I want you guys to enjoy this course. I know in distance learning, an online majority of modality, it's not, you might think of it not as the same experience. I know I do personally, but at the same time, we're going to make the best of this, and I will do everything in my power to try to provide you guys the engagement and the excitement and the enthusiasm that I have through this, because this is something that I really love and I've chosen as a profession, as I mentioned. And it's a passion, right? So this is like a labor of love for me, doing this and sharing this and teaching you guys and watching you go from the beginning stages of not even knowing what a drone is to the end of the course and you're taking beautiful drone photos. It's going to be awesome. Okay. So I hope the most success for you, and anything that you need, questions, concerns, whatever they may be, send me an email. Look forward to the course. Get out there, do the attendance form, log into the office hours optionally if you want to next Wednesday, and get that text from Gosling. It'll take you 5 minutes, if that, right? And it'll cost you $3. Um, Great. So just so you know what to expect by next week. So before the 11th, I will post the. Well, actually, I don't have to post anything from Elliot because I don't have anything there. But I will have the quiz. Um, all set up and ready to go for you before the 11th. And if there's anything else in the meantime that I need to get out to you, I will do so. Okay. You'll probably see articles or other little, interesting drone news or information pop up from time to time. I'll send that stuff out as it comes along. Okay. Um, Great. So I'm going to end now because I could just keep talking about this stuff forever and ever. But it's been a pleasure, and I really look forward to meeting you and having you in this class. Thanks so much. Bye for now.